Yeah, I went to every single Nike store in London the same day. I went there. I asked for the manager. I asked them if they're hiring. Even if they wasn't hiring, gave them a little talk and CV. And then I remember it was coming to the end of the day. The last Nike store that I went to, they told me that.
Coolio Schmigulio. Hello, hello. I don't know if they can hear this. It's so weird without being able to hear it.
Yeah. We can hear each other.
Yeah,
normally.
but I don't like not hearing that. Anyways, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Speak Your Sauce video. It's your boy Bongs.
Yeah, Shay Ventures here.
Yes, sir. And yeah, welcome back. What was the last thing we talked about? Do you remember?
Honestly, nada. I remember some positive habits.
Was it? I don't know. Everything's blended together. But yeah, I hope everybody's good. Thank you so much for tuning in to the video. Also, little rant. The people on the Speaker Source Instagram are just not trying to communicate. Like, I must have put up the story, of who they want to see on the channel. No replies.
Yeah.
I put it up on my main story. I got like 6 replies. And I'm like, do you guys, what's your beef?
See, I don't know. From a critical standpoint,
Talk to me.
It's the fact, it could be the fact that there's hardly ever posts up. So out of nowhere, a post goes up asking.
Yeah, you lot should be locked in.
Because think about it, most of the views on the reels is from people that don't follow us.
Yeah, I looked at the stats. It's disgusting. It's like
so
95%.
more engagement on the Instagram. And the fact that we're still quite small.
Yeah. I mean, just one. Not even
even one of you want to chat to.
Not even from Sauce Got Spilled.
I mean, Sauce Got Spilled doesn't use the Instagram.
Not even from Shay Ventures.
Shay Ventures definitely doesn't use the Instagram.
It's outrageous. Because I saw SPL.08 as well. I said, that is crazy.
You know, that's the only Instagram I actually use.
I said, that's crazy. Awesome. So basically, in light of exam season right now, and obviously we were talking about uni a couple of weeks ago. What's up?
I'm just thinking, will it still be exam season when this comes out?
Yeah, in May.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It seemed very appropriate. What I wanted to talk about today was I've got a semi-experienced industry professional in the capacity of LinkedIn.
Say that one more time. What the hell does that mean?
You've seen probably over 10,000 LinkedIn profiles, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what I wanted to talk about was essentially finding a job after uni.
Okay, but I can give you the straight up. I can give you the straight up. Because this is what I've learned. This is what I've learned afterwards, after uni, now actually seeing everything. It's one, most places you need experience. If you haven't got experience, you need to go in at entry level.
Yeah, plain and simple.
Going in at entry level, that means you're not going to get paid as much, or you're going to get paid like, you're either not going to get paid as much, or you go in and not get paid. And it also depends on which area you're going into.
Yeah, what sector?
Best thing to do if you haven't got experience is to go in and do graduate scheme or apprenticeship. Is that there's nothing more.
That's it.
Yeah,
Job done.
that's
All right,
it.
great podcast, guys. Thank you so much. No, I just wanted to chop up because do you guys have Bullhorn or Source Breaker? Yeah. And so basically we have access to like 2 types of profiles. Like basically one's LinkedIn and one is essentially Read and Indeed. And you and I, recruiters.
Okay,
Yeah, recruiters. Yeah, I'm a recruiter now. You know me too.
You joined the gag.
You know what I'm saying? So I could agree. I can assume you've seen the difference between Read CVs, Indeed CVs, and LinkedIn.
I don't look at that. So we just see. I don't use LinkedIn, and then we just see CVs. CVs are like handmade. It's not.
Oh.
I don't use like Reads, Indeed, and all of that.
Oh,
stuff.
you can't see like Read CV job boards.
So
what did you see on Sourcebreaker?
I don't use Sourcebreaker. I use Bullhorn.
What do you see on?
And it's so we get CVs from people and then we upload it. So I get
that's
directly
long.
from them.
Okay. So if I twist this back to me, then
Yeah.
what I've seen is like, so essentially what you find is people on Read and Indeed are either still currently in education or just finished education, but don't really know how to conduct themselves well. So you find like CVs are all patchy, all over the gaff.
Is that because those are the only jobs on Reading Indeed?
No. We look at everything. Like for example, the other day we were looking for what's it called, a data coordinator. So it's just basically essentially a graduate role for BP, right? And I was looking at Reed and I was looking at LinkedIn Recruiter, if that makes sense. So it's a fairly professional role I was looking at rather than just an entry level, if that makes sense. And what I noticed was like there was a big difference between the CVs on Read and Indeed versus the CVs on LinkedIn Recruiter.
Wait,
so
there's CVs on LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn it's like they have to put their
experience.
CV.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about the profile?
The profile one, but you can also see the CVs when they upload them as well.
Yeah, when they've uploaded.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just saying like there's just such a big difference. And what I just started to notice was that, you know, CVs, number one, is a big thing, but it's weird to think that what people think is important on their CVs is actually completely irrelevant to what is actually required or what we look at or what we look for relevant to a job. So what I've seen, especially like a lot of grads love this one. I'm a hardworking, resilient, focused, driven, well-managed.
You don't need to see any of that stuff. You know that stuff can be made up.
Brother, it's actually crazy. Like especially like my manager, I've seen her when she's looking, trying to source like candidates or trying to fill roles or get roles from like graduate roles. Yeah, the way she just scrolls past the personal profile is crazy.
It's so irrelevant.
It's
literally down to qualifications, skills, experience.
That's it. Like
That's it.
What have you used? What platform have you used? What numbers? So one thing that I've learned, and that it might be of use for you guys, is my ex-manager. She told me, where possible and as much as possible, use numbers rather than words. So what I mean by this is, instead of describing what you've done, or we had to process this data, we had to move it from platform A to platform B and then platform C, you use numbers. How much data did you have to use?
Use examples for everything.
Use examples and with numbers, with figures. So because that way, as an outsider looking in, it's so much easier to gain context of what you've done and how important it is. So for example, I was talking to a candidate yesterday, right? And when we were chopping it up, talking on the phone about kind of this role, what he was describing to me, what he done was very much just words, blah, blah, blah. It was just basically waffle. Like I told him, look, we want somebody that's proficient with Excel and data. And when he was explaining to me what he'd done next one, there was just a chatty patty, right? And then when we really got down to the nitty gritties, how much data did you use? What did you analyze? Did you really analyze? Whatever. He was like, I'm in an iron, right? Yeah. And I feel like numbers really expose you, yourself, and the reality of what you got up to, and you know, to what degree or to what depth do you actually know what you're talking about versus what you don't know what you're talking about. So to kind of tie back into what I'm trying to say, it's more about kind of making yourself appear more professional than you actually seem, is to just have an audit on your CV, because sometimes the reason why you're not getting the roles. So for example, when during lockdown, I was applying for like 5 roles every single day for like 3 months straight, maybe 5 to 10 roles every single day for like 3 months straight, right? And I was thinking, what's going on? Because my CV looks smooth, my CV is going crazy, and then I got one of my lecturers from uni reached out to me. She's like, yo, Sia, I've heard, you're struggling for work, whatever, because I posted on LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. She's like, cool, send me your CV, let's review it, blah, blah, blah. Sent it to her, she broke it up, dissected it. She said, look, too much words here, too many paragraphs, too much this, too much that, not enough words, not enough. Chopped it up, dissected it, bow, sent it back to me, uploaded it. Literally, a month later, got shouted by Amazon.
Yeah.
Bow, type shit, you know what I mean? So it's almost like, I say this to say that one of the root causes, it's essentially, number one, your CV, the way your CV looks, and number two, where you're posting kind of yourself. So a big recommendation, get yourself on LinkedIn. Get yourself on LinkedIn. Yeah. For more, I'd say for more of like the professional, the office type roles, or just the corporation.
It's the job, like version of Facebook.
So I agree. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, but LinkedIn I ain't trying to hear LinkedIn. I'm only 18, I'm 19, I'm 20.
The companies that you want to apply for, they're all on LinkedIn.
They're all on LinkedIn. And unless you're trying to, I don't know, what's something that you wouldn't get hired for on LinkedIn? I don't know, like labourer maybe.
A YouTuber.
Yeah, then
But even like a labor, it just depends on the company that you're going into. Like majority of companies are on LinkedIn.
yeah.
Because you got to think, how are companies employing? They need to get CVs from somewhere. They're going to go to places where people submit CVs.
Cool.
So,
And if we're trying to be, what's the word? Relevant? What's the word where we are trying to be of use to them? If we're trying to, like
relevant.
I don't know the word, but
Yeah, I
whatever I'm trying to say is for us to be of use to you, what I would like to imagine the person who's watching this is the type of person that wants to go into a role that's an office job. That's not necessarily a 9 to 5, but that's very professional, that type of shit. Because everybody here, they're all trying to be entrepreneurs. They're all trying to talk to me.
No, I think that's the easy answer to give to people getting into office jobs, because it just requires the same. Like you can send that same CV out to everybody, and it's just whoever comes back and whichever one you like the most. I think the larger amount of people are the people that leave in uni without work experience and still want to go into a certain field. And it's like, how can they transform their CV from with the work experience that they do have, whether it be working in McDonald's or River Island retail and all that stuff,
I got you,
to uni, to now going and working a job that they actually want.
The way I done it, I'm slightly different because I had some work experience, but my work experience was only hospitality, right?
As most are, your job's 16 to 18. So like the same way you would have done it, you transformed your CV to get you into the job.
So what I got away with was essentially, what this lady helped me with is basically talk about what you got up to at uni. So talk about the key modules and how relatable they are to kind of the role you're looking into. So for me, what I talked about a lot of was groups and actions, social psychology, and business psychology. So I basically done those key modules, and then also essentially described what my dissertation was: time perception under virtual reality, effects, levels of immersion, whatever. But the way I presented it was showing that the person needed to be, I don't know, a recruiter, an analyst, X, Y, and Z, would have had to look at SPSS, had to do data, had to do data inputs, had to go out and do studies. When I'm talking about business psychology, I was a little bit cheeky because all I've done is I essentially, whatever the job needed to do, I studied that in business psychology.
That's what you're meant to do. So so for the people that want to work in a specific sector, all you do is go to each company that you want to apply for, look at what they do, and literally take out. You can create an example from anything that you've done and reword it or whatever into
what they're looking for. If you just take that job description, key responsibilities, and then you reword it and say that I'm slightly experienced in this degree, in this capacity.
And then you give an example of when you was doing that. So like what Sia mentioned about fixed CVs being too wordy. One thing that I got told as well when I was doing my CV is take out for example, I am hardworking, add in, while at my previous job, I went out, like a time when you went out of your way to serve a customer and make a sale. Like you would talk through that little experience there, and it's like now you're showing an example of a time where you are hardworking rather than just saying that you're hardworking.
Because everybody says they're hardworking.
It's all work. So you have to make it relative to the job that you're applying for.
Yeah. And obviously, not everybody can get away with because they had a placement year, X, Y, and Z. So as best as possible, you just adjust your CV, and it's not going to be easy, but that's how you do it. Number one, and then number two, what's really important as well is that yes, you want to apply everywhere and anywhere, but it's really important, as best as possible, you either get into a role that's very similar to what you want to do. So it's almost like, let's say the role you want to get into, you need 2 years of industry experience. All you need to do is find something similar,
entry level
type shit.
So this is now for the people who know what they want to do.
Yeah,
like you're not going to be able to go in for example, there was roles that I was looking at, a video editor, and you need to go into video editing, you need to have previous video editing experience and not just like doing your own thing. If you do, then we need a portfolio of which it needs to be something that you can present to this job. And if you haven't got a portfolio, you need to have prior experience working, like paid work as a video editor. So then if you haven't got any of that stuff, The only way you're gonna get into it is by joining at entry level, which you're not gonna earn much. So it's like you said, 2 years or whatever to gain that experience, and then you move up.
Yeah.
Going back to, I can't remember one of the podcasts before about not being in a rush when you finish uni. If you know like you want to go into a career, remember it's years. Like, people do master's degree, that's an extra year, and then there might be a PhD after masters. That's another year, and then go on to do another year at entry level, and then go on to do another year. It might be taking them 5 years to get to the role that they want to get to, but they got to the role that they wanted to get to, and then they are still good years down the line.
Still cozy, still hunky dory. So yeah, man, it's just kind of working for the long term. And I think, you know, sometimes it's hard to say. It's all well and good for us to sit here because, you know, we don't know behind the scenes what kind of pressures you're undergoing, right? We don't know. You need to.
No, we understand. We was there.
Yeah,
we was there.
Because this is crazy because you had pressure.
I was definitely there.
Let me know. Give him some context, my brother.
So I just about finished uni.
Just about, my people. I
remember even during the exam period, I was like, I can't be asked. I don't want to do it. It's literally just because my mum wanted me to finish. I said, because I would have thrown it all away my last exam. I would have said, no, can't be asked to do it. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't want this degree. Pushed through, still done it, got the grades now. And now, I remember my journey to get my current job, I had to sit and think, what do I want to do? Because I didn't want to do anything in like a professional space, full-time. Never worked a full-time job. So it's like, I had to think about what do I want to do? And I went through the different things of what I enjoy. I started with video editing. And I saw there isn't a way for me to get into it without making the sacrifice of pay. That's a sacrifice that I couldn't make, so I had to go on to see what else I could do. I ended up seeing recruitment. Recruitment is something that, yes, I enjoy as well. I enjoy talking to people, I enjoy networking. And I thought, what type of recruitment? I enjoy tech. So I funneled through that. And even that, I remember I applied, I would have applied for a bag of jobs.
A bunch.
Like this is, you're talking now, you're working a job, applying for jobs. Like you have to put in the work. And then I remember I think I had 4 interviews in 1 week, and it's just literally back to back. Funny thing, yeah, you know, I actually recorded one of my first interview periods. It was with, I can't remember what company it was with. It was a full-time sales role. It was like sales manager. Yeah. Would have been a nice bit of bread as well. And it was done via Zoom, as you'd expect. And yeah, I recorded everything. So I had my camera here. I recorded me. I screen recorded the Zoom. I'll put it up at some point. I recorded everything. Yeah, man. I done that past first stage. Then I had the next stage, and then I think I failed at I think it was at the finalist stage. I failed at that, and then next interviews got those. And yeah, it's literally just pushing through. You just gotta push through. Everybody's got the same pressures of you've got this amount of time to find work, to make some money, or to find your job or whatever. Like, just take time, think about what you want to do, and I think it's the big thing is put 100% into doing make it urgent. Make it very urgent. It shouldn't take you. I've always said, it's never taken me more than a month to find a job, and that's ever any job I've ever had, and it's because of the urgency of just attacking every single avenue. Story, I can't remember if I told you how I started working, how I got my job at Nike. Did I tell you?
Don't think so.
So when I came back from Chesterfield, again, same situation, needed to find work, and I was thinking, I'm not going into work in no dead retail store. I'm not going into a full-time office job. I've just come from full-time football.
You got to hold. Yeah. I'm getting into.
I need to stay in my field. So I was like, all right, cool. This is the time for me to try and use my experience and get a job with Nike. So I wanted to work in one of the Nike stores and move up from there. First I sorted out my CV, got that printed. I went to every single Nike store in London in the same day. And I went to every single Nike store in London the same day. I went there. I asked for the manager. I asked them if they're hiring. Even if they wasn't hiring, gave them a little talk and CV. And then I remember it was coming to the end of the day. The last night store that I went to, they told me that this other night store was actually hiring. They told me this other night store was hiring. And I didn't even know that one was there. Found it. I went there and I spoke to the guy. Manager, one of the managers was there. I spoke to him. The same way, gave him my CV and everything, and it was more from the conversation. But he literally said, "Can you come back in an hour for an interview?" So literally, yes, I was there. Spoke to him. He said, "Come back in an hour." I said, "All right, cool." Came back in an hour, had my interview, and then I can't remember if it was same day or the next day. Told me, "Yeah, like you got your job."
Crazy.
Like, pull
Just
up.
like that.
Pull up.
It's crazy.
And like that, and then that was me. It's working. I had my job with Nike. Like, and that all started. It's literally just from attacking every single avenue. I would have started online. I would have applied for everything online, but I didn't stop there. I went to in the stores. Boom.
Yeah, no, that's crazy hunger.
Like
That's
how you gotta be, bro.
Yeah,
like,
you got
it should not take you. If it takes you more than a month to at least get an interview, you're doing something wrong, or you're not doing something.
One thing that's interesting though, if I just switch the mindset a little bit, or not mindset but view. So I was speaking with Mike. You remember Mike, right?
Yeah.
When I was in Oakham, my third year, and he was basically asking me to come up to Manchester and kind of move in with him for about 2 months when I graduate. And he said the reason behind it was that he would recommend take some time out post uni, because you spent 3 years, you know, at university, you spent X amount of years in education, and it's your first time out. You need to have a breather, sit, think, and really think, is this for you?
This is what for you?
Number one, work.
What is for you?
Yeah, what is for you
Yeah.
is working for you. Okay, if working is for you, where you want to go, is that for you, or are you following somebody else? So, for yourself, what do you think about that? Like, because obviously we're in this mindset of we're big advocates. Okay, once you're in uni, this is what you need to do next. Go straight into employment. Or
I'm a big advocate of do what makes sense for what you want. Like me, I didn't have that luxury of take 2 months out. Like I had the urgency of I need to find a job within the next month, or I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah.
So it depends on your circumstances. Yes, I'm a big believer of figure out what you want and then just go to it with clarity. If you need to take time, if you need to take a year out,
Then
if you can afford to take a year out, whatever. I think just do whatever works for you. And if you don't know, then take the time out. But I think stay aware of the fact that at some point you are going to want like to move in a direction. You don't want to just be,
no matter what it is, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, you don't want to be a bum.
Yeah.
You don't want to just be posted at your mom's crib or your boy's crib, no peas coming in. You just posted.
like, why didn't you go?
Why didn't I go?
Yeah.
Basically, I lost him as a mentor
How'd you lose him?
because I started drinking again.
Oh, what? So, wait, was he getting you out of drinking?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And you started, so he dropped you.
At the start, yeah, because like I was just being unserious. Because like he was trying to set up like link ups, calls and whatever, and I just kept missing them because. Because like at the start of third year, like we'd like FaceTime, we'd be like making plans, preps, whatever. It was proper.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I like Mike, man.
I was sharp at it. I was sharp at
I
it.
remember you know how I met him?
Yeah, not how you met him.
Do I remember how I met him? Because I remember I met him physically in a cafe. Like I can't remember how. It would have been from Instagram. It would have been.
I think you said that you saw him somewhere, and then you saw him. Oh, you're type shit.
I don't know. I think it was from Instagram. And then on the Instagram, it would have been. I can't remember if I reached out to him. He reached out to me. Like we spoke through DMs, and then we arranged to meet up. Yeah, it was definitely through Instagram. We arranged to meet up, and then we met up, went to a cafe, and we literally just sat and we spoke. Got to know where I'm at, and then after that, I think the next time I saw him might have been when we went to the barbecue.
That's cool.
Invited us.
I went to one of his seminars as well. Like when I was.
Oh yeah, I went to one of his
I was
seminars.
locked in,
No,
brother.
you lot, I'm telling you, network as well. Network.
Speaking of network, here's some not exciting news, not yet, but basically what I'm trying to do is there's a guy I work with, not even a guy I work with, he's big time. Let me not lie, he's like managing director, whatever, and he's so big time that basically he started a podcast channel 6 years ago. And the podcast started making so much money for the business. Now it's a standalone setup. So basically what I'm trying to do is network with him, network with his contacts, and try see if I can, number one, understand the podcasting world from his perspective, and see if I can get a big time CFO, CEO. I'm not like...
Wait, a CFO, CEO in what?
Here. Not here, but on Speakyoursauce.
See if you can get a guest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's something I'm working on in the background.
Yeah,
and even
I got to reel you in real quick.
Oh my god! Yeah. And even him himself, Dave Savage, big time guy. Like the podcast is doing bits. He's a crazy guy. He the way he understands podcasting and the way he wants to go and from a business perspective, X, Y, and Z.
Huh? You're talking to him to help get more clarity.
So I literally, so we jumped on a call yesterday, and he said he's gonna add me to a group chat. He's always outreaching, whatever. So now it's just about building that relationship, fostering that relationship, and see where my passion for podcasting can help him, the younger generation.
When's that meeting gonna be?
What do you mean?
When you due to have that meeting?
No, we had the meeting yesterday, and he's gonna add me. He's added me to the group chats from Monday, and then Mondays he's doing outreaching. So it's gonna be a couple weeks of continued conversation to build some momentum, type shit.
Yeah, because Thursday's meeting, I've asked you the question a couple of times now.
What's the question?
I was gonna drop the question on you again.
What's that?
Of where do you see?
Get off my bones, man. I'm having fun, man. Get off my bones, man. I don't know.
We're gonna need to get to the answer.
Yeah, get off my bones, man. Like, I remember when you asked me what was my purpose and you wanted me to find it in 3 weeks. Do you know how ridiculous that was?
Hey, look where you are now.
No, but
look where you are now.
No, but ask me to find my...
There's pressure, not bleed diamonds. Look at the smile.
Oh my God. But yeah, man, asking me what my purpose is in 3 weeks turnover is outrageous.
You know how I function, brother. I put pressure on everything.
Nah, it's so rude. It's actually so rude. And
but things get done.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I mean, I'm still trying to evaluate with the Speakyoursauce. I mean, I'm in a weird space anyways right now because I'm almost, sinking my teeth more into work, getting myself more invested because, I'm just chasing the process, learning whatever. So, everything's kind of taken a back seat. But then even while, quote unquote, everything's taken a back seat, for me to know how true or how much I want it or how well I understand it is how well I can maintain it even when it's taking a backseat, if that makes sense. Yeah,
my view is I don't think it goes back to your whole plan, what you're working towards at the end of the day. Like, it's not just one thing that you're working towards. Like you're working towards an end goal, and the end goal consists of different things, like different routes into it. Mm-hmm. Work is one of those things because it's where you're gonna earn money, whatever.
Correct.
The podcast is another thing. It's whatever you're gonna do long term or whatever it is. So there is no priority. Everything's a priority basically. Like everything's a priority. What changes is how you manage the priorities on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
So it's the same thing I have to do. Like work, SGS, they are equally as important to me. Like they are equally as much of a priority. What I have to do is I have to organize the priorities into the days. I don't go because I'm trying to make all this money at work or I need to do deals and all this stuff. I don't go, okay, now SGS needs to go on the back burner. Because SGS goes on the back burner, it goes, now it's not as important, and then that basically just stops. So
true.
It's like everything's a priority, but you just have to manage.
Damn, yeah, it's crazy. I hear it. I understand it, and it's almost like I do a juggling act, right? I'm like 1 week. Once again, I think this goes back to who I am and my personality.
You're struggling to focus on more than one thing at a time. But you know this.
Yeah.
What I've started to do, I've literally, as of yesterday, is I'm now noting down what holds me back and what I'm doing well in. I'm trying to basically now, I'm paying attention basically. I want to start to build consistent results. And to build consistent results, I need to see what my flaws are. Obviously, yes, I can only see so much for myself. We'll get external help, but it's paying attention to your flaws and change it. like it's a flaw. Get rid of it. Work on it. Do what does work. So you saying that you struggle to concentrate on more than one thing. You're trying to achieve this, which requires you to focus on more than one thing. So eliminate the flaw. You can't eliminate. Work on eliminating the flaw.
It's crazy. And I think, how does one go about trying to eliminate one thing?
The same way you learn how to do anything. Like
What do you mean by
everything,
that?
the person you are today, everything you've learned how to do, like you've read Atomic Habits, like you had to break down a bad habit, but put in a good habit.
I think for myself, it's how I view my flaws on what it is. No, here it is. The flaws that I see are easy to overcome. It's easy for me to overcome them. My eating habits, my sleeping habits, talking to women on social media, being on social media. Like, when I've been on TikTok, when my TikTok daily watch hours is like 3-4 hours, I'll delete TikTok for like a week. I won't go on TikTok. I can visualize it, right? But then I feel like these big ones, these ones that are holding me back on the bigger picture, on trying to reach who I want to become, whether it's maintaining focus, maintaining the hard work, being able to prioritize, reprioritize, being able to focus on multiple things at once. They're so big. I just sink my head in the sand and I just focus on one thing. So what I mean, that I just spend my time just reading all the time, spend my time just watching, investing in videos all the time, spend my time just working all the time, not doing, you know what I mean? And I run away from it. I think why I do that is because it's almost, I don't want to face that challenge because I feel like it's a challenge I may not overcome. And I view myself as someone that can overcome anything I try. So therefore, it's almost exposing me to another flaw.
So from that, like you, let me help you and everybody else watching it with this response. Yeah. So for starters, I've said it before. I'm saying now that every single thing that you do for the first time is hard. You say that it's easy for you to do this. It wasn't easy when you started it.
Agreed.
You just don't remember because it's that long ago. But if you do think about it, it was all hard to begin with, and it was a process. Every single thing you start is always a process. The bigger thing you're trying to achieve, the harder it is going to be to do it. Like,
it's that simple.
It's that simple. So it's at the end of the day, it just comes down to get it done. You want this, get it done. The bigger the thing you want, the harder it is to do it. So you're at that stage now where the things that you want now require you to pay more attention. It now requires you to sacrifice more, to change more, to work more.
I hear you loud and clear.
And it's just and then it just comes down to, as everybody says in the motivational videos, how bad you want it. Like
if you want to breathe, if you want it as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Eric Thomas.
Like Eric Thomas.
Nah, but that story there, when the man brought him into the water.
Yeah, bro. That was one of my first motivational videos that I got into.
Pre-game pump up. But nevertheless, we digress. I would say, if I'm really in, because what I'm starting to see as well, I'm taking a big benefit from this podcast is every time I address a problem, we chop it up. I see it, I visualize it, get it done. I come back. I'm coming cold. I think what I need for this one is, I think I might need more help, a little bit more help. So what I mean by this, I think I might need you to just help me literally reprioritize. I think, a little masterclass, little chop out, because you
how I manage my week, because I've had to do it again this week. I've like I said, I'm thinking a bit clearer. I'm thinking a bit clearer now. It's just seeing. Yes, like I said, everything is a priority, but it's organizing your days into priorities to make sure everything gets done.
And here we go. If we're going a little bit deeper with it, one thing I do notice is my two biggest weaknesses. Number one is my capacity to focus on more than one thing at once. I struggle. So I can do one thing exceptionally well. Try and give me a second thing, long. Number one. Second thing is I'm still very weak with my desires. So what I mean by this is when I'm in flow state, but then the desire comes in, it throws me off track.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to get out of this is for myself, where my energy, my willpower needs to come to be to focus on is I need to work on the desires, because I think the desires, I've caught myself not recently but phases where the desires is throwing me off track, and that's the next thing I need to kind of be able to, because you know what I mean by this is, you know, when I was going to the gym, I was consistent 5 days a week, blah blah blah, and then I'd fuck up, and then it'll take me time to restart. Now the thing that's holding me back is the desires. What I need your help with is like a masterclass in basically prioritization, and I think if I can, those are the next two things, take me to the next level.
Yeah. I set rules. Like, you know that, like, I set
Let's
rules.
let's talk about it, not off camera, but when we're sitting down at a desk, because I do that. That's not what my brain needs, because this task is so grand for me. I can't visualize it in here.
You gotta do it. Yeah, you need to
Type
you need
shit.
to break it. Because
Break
you know,
it
even
down.
the desires thing. Like for me, I have desires, and I've gotten to a point where I can understand.
What kind of desires?
I've got compulsive desires.
Like what?
That's the
Like what?
I'm very compulsive.
Okay,
in every single way.
Hey, nah, you're my bro. Let me shut my mouth.
I'm compulsive in every single way. Put it that way. And yeah, and I'm not like chucking it to the sides. I'm not. Yeah, I'm compromised. I don't even know, man. But it's like I've just got rules, so it's 0, 100. But I've organized it so that Monday to Friday is 0. And Friday and Saturday, I'm allowed to go to 100. And then Sunday, it can...
Because he goes 1,000. He goes 1,000.
Yeah, bro. But that's because it's what works for me. Works for me. Like, what doesn't work for me is cutting everything out. What doesn't work for me is extremes. Yeah, it just doesn't work, because I would end up like folding. Yeah, I just end up folding and end up going backwards. Like, it's just understanding what works for you. But like I said, we'll go for it.
It's been on my neck for about, I'd probably say 2-3 years now. I think it almost rivals the alcohol. Not in the sense of the negatives. I wouldn't say like, you know, like life changing. So what I mean by this is
Compulsive. What's compulsive mean again?
like urges.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said, am I compulsive? Spontaneous. I'm both. Yeah, so it's just on my
But yeah, like where the alcohol affected my life in a big way. I think the desires doesn't affect me in a big way, but it's still holding me back in the same way, because I feel like I've grown tenfold dropping alcohol. And you know, I say that, but desires is a part of life, right? It's just I'm not gonna get rid of them more, but I think it's what I want more of is control, because I think you see what I mean. Because I think everything else with myself, I think I've pretty much like I'm in control of me, but then how much of me is desires then, and if
without getting too deep in it, because you just end up going in. Like, I'm not a therapist. You're not a therapist.
Brother, I'm out here unlocking type shit, brother.
Yeah,
I just wanna take desires, script it, and just be like,
it's just discipline. Yeah, it's just
you say that though, but I've got discipline, or do I?
Discipline is, you got discipline. You can have discipline in one area, but not discipline in another.
What do you think I have?
You said you might have discipline when you got to focus on one thing, get it done.
I mean, from like an external person that knows me very well. What do you think?
You got discipline. You got discipline when it comes to getting work done, but then the discipline might go when it comes. But your whole desires thing, like, see, because I see you getting things done. Your desires thing, from external, it doesn't seem like a problem. So for you, it might just be a problem because you just want to be, maybe you just want to be doing it less. Or
yeah, basically.
But what is the problem with your current work to desires, like, balance? What's the problem?
Yeah, say that for another time. I hear it. The problem is it's not necessarily the balance. It's the when the desires come in, they come in strong,
Like,
bro.
you have to fulfill that, and you just don't. Well, you just don't like that fact.
That I have to fulfill them.
Yeah.
I want it to be a case of I'm in the mood to fulfill them today, so yeah, let's go ahead.
It's just about getting more control of yourself.
Type
Yeah.
shit. Whether rather than it's literally it'll be like desire, and then it consumes me, and it's like I have to fulfill it. Whereas I want it to be okay, desire's in my mind, but brother, we got a project. You take time.
I don't know, like the way I manage it is why not, basically. Like if there isn't a reason why not, then let the desire like go have fun. If there is something else you should be doing, then different story. You need to be able to say no. You need to get this done. But I don't think for you it's the case where you've got something else you should be doing. Like you've got free time, desire comes in, you fulfill the desire, and that's a problem to you just because it came in.
Yeah, because it's like, why am I traveling? Why am I don't know, going.
Being, brother. Like you're trying to like we can't just work. Like you want to enjoy life.
I hear it, and
And we
here's
haven't got the balance.
and here's my weakness.
Yeah.
Not necessarily my weakness. Like how my mind works is, how dare I try and go and have fun?
When you're not there yet. Oh, it's balance, bro. And this is where the whole plan comes into it, and knowing like as long as you're going in this direction, you're getting things done. You're not a robot. Like we said that before. You're not a robot, so you need to have a balance. There's nothing wrong with just living, having fun, as long as you're getting stuff done.
That's a fine line though, because all it takes is one desire too many, and all of a sudden you're not getting shit done.
If you're not getting stuff done, then you should recognize that, and then you make that change. If you're getting stuff done, there's no problem.
I hear that. Awesome. Coolio Schmigulio, my brother.
Yes.
I think yeah. I got what I needed out of that. The main premise is you, man. Pattern. I don't know if this is on this video, that video, whatever, however you're gonna clip it.
I'll just do it together.
You, man. Pattern your LinkedIn. Yeah. Don't worry about reading Indeed. Get yourself on LinkedIn. Get yourself on LinkedIn and see ya. Work with Shay. And what's Shay gonna do? Help me work on more than one thing at any go, and then see ya. Work on your desires, my bro. That's what I want you to do and prep for summer. And prep for June, my bro. And prep for June, because I ain't trying to spend money, brother. Like, you know, I'm trying to get this AP, I'm trying to get this whip. So please, pattern your desires and multitask. Yeah? Love, my bro. Awesome. Anything from you?
Nah, same as do what you gotta do. Work hard. Attack every single area to get what you want.
Cool. So it's been your boy Bongs,
Shea Ventures.
and we out of here. Peace.